Hey guys, Tyler here, bringing you a 2v2 today. We are on Elst Outskirts, playing for today, spawning in the north. We have Metlovski as the US forces, and his loadout is infantry company, airborne, and tactical support. Teaming up with him is Guard2707 as the Brits, who has commandos, vanguard, and mobile assault. Facing off against them, we have Tatenruhm as the COH2, who has breakthrough, fortifications, and special operations. And we also have Imperial Dane as the Elst player, who has Jaeger infantry, encirclement, and assault support. So, looks like a bit of teamwork here from the Axis team, making sure they don't lose control of this very important building right next to the cutoff. Good teamwork from them. Does mean they're sacrificing this building, however. In terms of teams, these are random teams. Every player here, top 100 random team. Highest ranking player, Guard2707. We've seen him in quite a few high level 2v2 matches. So a slight ranking edge to the allies. Oh, Guard2707 not paying attention there. Probably could have ran back to the building, stopped that Grenadier from getting in there. Now he's going to end up losing this engagement. Looks like he's trying to force away these pioneers before he has to retreat himself, but I don't think even that's going to happen. Getting a bit of poor RNG there. Good for Dane though. It's going to allow him to secure this with his pioneers. Continue capping with them even at low combat strength. Engagement up here. Looks like Rivalman in close though against the Volksgrenadiers. Might be able to win this now from this range. There we do. Still Pioneers caught in an awkward position. Volksgrenadiers are there to support. Looks like the Axis want to get onto this cutoff, but there's quite a lot of cover around here for the Allies. A little bit indecisive. Just positioning. Trying to get a wipe here. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Didn't switch targets with the squad inside the building as well. Definitely not in that case. Interesting build from Guard2707. It's gone for universal carry. I would say probably like one unit late. Generally, from what we saw in the Ultimate Team Tournament, players would get this out one unit earlier, but it looks like he made it, you know, one section later. Saw the strength of this in the Ultimate Team Tournament with the flamethrower upgrade. Very, very powerful against all the cover positions on this map. And very necessary as well. Got a mortar from Metlovski. It's had enough of this building. So carry in here doing a bit of damage. Also went for a Vickers, so that's going to further delay the Wasp upgrade for Guard2707. And Dane now in this building on the VP. Should be a reasonably strong position for him here. Looks like he's opening up on the Universal Carrier, which now has reduced armor, remember. So he's doing a little bit more damage than you would previously see. Oh, but it looks like his mortar got forced away by that section. So, don't know if he's going to be able to win this 2v1. Looks like he's not. Because doing some good damage there. And Dane losing control of the south now. We do have Tatenruhm making some good pushes in the north though. Briefly connecting the fuel up there, so takes us off to a pretty decent start here.
What's next then?
Universal Carry has the flamethrower upgrade now, so that's a problem. Also getting his crew repair completed. So it's going to be at full health and ready to do some damage. Well, maybe not complete full health, but very close to it. Very low health rifle squad coming out from Metlovski. Must have no healing in his base. Going for actually weapon racks before ambulance. Interesting decision. I think I probably would have gone for ambulance first. But the fact that he's gone for weapon racks suggests no light vehicle from him early. So probably not going to be seeing AA half track. He's actually selected commander. He's gone for infantry company. He's chucking down a mine as well. His spare time. So yeah, I think I would have gone for ambulance first. He's got the low health squads. Bringing full health squads onto the battlefield means they're going to be, you know, stronger in combat because they're fully healed. They stay in the fights longer. Oh, looks like that mine gets interrupted just before completion. Looks like this wire on the door here was unsuccessful, blocking the entry. Trying to make itself towards that heavy cover position. I'm still not sure he's going to win, and definitely not with that incendiary grenade coming in. It's like Dane making a nice push in the southern region though, with the support of all his team weapons. They're gathering territory there steadily, and we've got the universal carrier going to work here in the north. And throw a squad wants to charge in here against the Vickers. Well, that's a huge mortar shell, doing almost half health to that. Dane sees the opportunity, he's charging in with the Pioneers. One flame burst, a little bit of 222, and one more mortar shell, and that's it. Machine gun goes down super quickly. That one mortar shell on like 3 models did almost half health just in that one shell. You can see the impacts of the mortar damage versus buildings. This patch certainly makes them a lot more lethal when they get those direct hits. And that's also maybe partly Guard2707's own fault. Try to spread his units, you know, try to send his Wasp up to the north. Splitting his attention, he ends up losing machine gun. But also good work from Dane. As soon as he landed that mortar shell, he spotted the opportunity, charged in there with the flamethrower for the kill. And was successful because of it. Do have the AEC now coming in. Dane is building a pack, which is a good idea as well. Or he could go for a second 222, but looks like he's going for the pack. The key now, though, is not to overextend with the 222 because he's in a tricky situation here. Oh, looks like he's going after the Wasp. Wasp backpedaling, baiting him right into the AC, and that is going to go down for sure. Maybe not for sure. Uh-oh, he's not chasing. Oh, he misses another shot long range. AC on the hunt. Oh, and he connects finally. But not chasing quite aggressively enough there. Could have cost him the kill. But also Dane, you know, getting a bit too aggressive. You know, you're around this timing. You have to expect an AEC. Gotta play very conservatively with your 222, make sure it's supported by Grenadiers. Speaking of Grenadiers, Dane lost one, right? Oh no, only made 2.
Knock it off and listen up.
So yeah, slight error by Dane. He did play a bit more conservatively with his 222, but he saw the opportunity. He's like, I'm going to get this Wasp, and then in comes the AC and takes him down. Okay, it would be very easy to fall for that. Any player might succumb to that opportunity. Do have a forward battle group here from Tatenruhm, just outside his own base. I don't think it's that strong of a position, honestly. It's not that far out of your base, and the good thing about having healing in your base is that as soon as the squad retreats, the medics will start healing them. Whereas currently, he has to micro his squads out of his base into his healing. So, you know, if you're in the middle of a hectic engagement, you don't really have the time to do that. You'll delay your squad's healing by a decent chunk. Well, this squad's getting shredded. Must have been pinned for over 10 seconds. Now at risk of going down. Oh my god. He is so lucky. He is so lucky there.
Mobile command has been set. The static post is now in operation. Forward elements report
Ooh.
an infantry unit lost.
Oh no, that's the Sturm Pioneers run over a mine, it looks like. And they're gone down. It must be one of those infantry rifleman mines. Looks like Dane pack doing a good job forcing back that EC. Come the commandos. It is commandos commander. Dane actually going for encirclement as well. I didn't really mention that. Encirclement, definitely a bit of a meme, but it's a fun meme for sure. It's a fun one. And close the pocket is devastating. Strongest artillery in the game. Probably alongside with zeroing artillery, like the late stages of zeroing artillery are also similar strength. Zeroing artillery is... units generally aren't in the circle for the late stages of zeroing artillery. So it's a bit of a moot point. Dane making use of the camouflage on his units. Oh, oh, good dodge on the grenade there. Must have been watching that. Charges his way back to cover. Good use of the sprints. They must have some practice with this commander. Using it like a veteran. EC doing some damage, but here comes the pack wheeling its way around. Takes a shot from the pack, has to back away. AC not that strong against infantry. I'm going to charge in here, but I don't think they'll win. Oh no, they dropped some models. Pretty good model drops. End up winning the engagement there. The STG Fox would win, but there's two models there on like full health. Damage distribution was a little bit more even. Probably would have been able to beat the rifleman there. Briefly jumps into that building, but with the flak HQ there, can't stay there for too long. Doesn't want to just free damage on a squad. Pack takes a shot, forces away the UC. Looks like all the teams are just waiting for their medium tanks to start arriving. It looks like now Tatenruhm kind of not sending that many units to the north, kind of supporting Dane here in the south a little bit more now. Trying to lock down this territory. Dane does have quite a lot of support weapons, and that is notoriously hard for the Brits to deal with since they don't have a mobile mortar. And yeah, it's very hard to find a position where you can safely make a mortar pit. It can actually stay safe but still be in a range to deal damage. Looks like we've actually got M1919s and a bar on this. One M1919, one bar on this squad of riflemen. So that's going to be pretty lethal against infantry. I mean, they synergize a little bit. But not amazingly. Dane's ambush. Machine gun doing some good work there. And here comes his first tank. It's the Stug. Got a Sherman coming in from Metlovski. I thought he might be going for a double shots. Oh, very late smoke for the AEC and very derpy pathfinding there. Ends up losing it.
We've lost a Mark III armored car.
It's now going for an AT gun to help deal with the Stug. Then getting the machine gun upgrade, bringing it in for a bit of combat. But yeah, I thought Metlovski was going to go for the Jackson because he's already got, you know, a lot of weapons upgraded on his squads. I feel like he's winning the anti-infantry battles like pretty easily. Didn't really need any more anti-infantry from the Sherman. But very light on AT, only really got some bazookas. Looks like there's only one bazooka as well on that squad. And they're taking a lot of damage. Is Dane going to make use of the tactical advance here? He uses it now. He gets the white. Metlovski not paying attention there. Perhaps worried about this assault through the center. Still staying alive, still staying relevant, even in this late position. Oh, but this squad is diving way too deep. Tatenruhm losing the squad there needlessly. Oh, in comes the Sherman, landing a juicy hit as well. And gets the wipe, and it looks... I heard an explosion down here. It looks like Dane pushed forwards with his Stug and actually got the killing blow on the Wasp. So casualties for both sides there, but Tatenruhm I think coming out on the worst end. Losing so much of his infantry. With these camouflage wars. Pushing forwards with the Stug. He's going to take a hit from the 6-pounder for its troubles. Axe is actually in control of 2 VPs here. Allies are about 100 VPs behind currently.
Flares prepped. High explosive. We're losing a capture point.
Commando's got a little bit of an ambush from the rear. The camouflage, but
There's
now
a rather splendid Cromwell ready to go.
being lit up by those incendiary rounds. Oh, nice dodge of the rifle grenade there. Nice dodge of the grenade in return. Here comes the P4 for Tatenruhm. Also for him, kind of surprised to see him go for the P4. Could have gone for the Panther. Oh my god, he got squished coming out of the door. Oh, when he almost loses the squad. Wire's gone off that door, right? Pretty sure he could have come out the other door, so slight mismicro there by Tatenruhm. Looks like he's now destroying these S-mines. Maybe that's a USF light AT mine, actually. Oh, the Stug goes down. I mean, not the Stug, the pack goes down. The Stug takes AT gun shot, and now Guard 2707 is going to knock that out with his 6-pounder. Dane risking it, you know, it's quite low health, very far forwards. Fired very quickly to those sections. It sets him back a little bit. He's gone for a second Stug. Trench going down for Guard. Maybe he wants to stick a Vickers in here overlooking this VP. Looks like he's going to try to barrage out this machine gun covering the central VP. The Allies are continuing to drain. That's actually a priest coming in onto Dane's position. He's got a lot of units surrounded here. Scatter is large though, no sight. So his Houch's shells will be scattering like crazy. Looks like he's not going to get too much damage done. Dane has evacuated the area. Guard2707 bringing in the mortar cover though in this region. That could do a tremendous amount of damage. Dane a bit late to react. That white phosphorus doing just bundles of damage to all his infantry. And that's a full collapse from Dane. And mortar cover forcing all his squads away on tremendously low health as well. It's going to tax his healing like nobody's business. Sherman comes down here as well, perhaps hoping to mop up some of those low health squads, but unsuccessful. And we've got a Raketen creeping down here. He's got to be careful with this Sherman. Still on HE. Can't effectively return fire on that Panzer IV. He's going to back it away. It's also switching the rounds. He's going to briefly get double fuel here, it looks like. On the back of that nice mortar cover. Guard2707 not going for weapon upgrades on his Tommies as well, saving all his munitions for the off maps. Oh no, Sherman gets caught out by the Raketen. Good supporting play there from Dane as well, bringing his Strugs up. And the Sherman goes down. Oh, the priest coming down onto the machine gun. Oh, there's no escaping. We'll get you on retreat. Cal duking it out with the stormtroopers, but looks like they end up winning with their heavy cover, which did end up getting destroyed, but damage was already done. And come the Strugs, supports against the Cromwell. He was charging forwards over negative cover, and then comes the grenade. He retreats into the path of the grenade. Oh, and he gets wiped crossing the road. Good grenade there, slightly behind the Obers. Catches them as they retreat. That was a really nice play from Guard2707 now. Get himself a Firefly as well. So this is a big force of infantry for Dane, charging across this angle. There's a squad of commandos here ready to do some damage, and they get the ambush bonus. Well, they are just roasting that grenadier. They can't even escape, and so much damage in that burst. It's Vet 2 with that as well. They're now hitting Vet 3 on this squad of stormtroopers. 22 kills. That'll be pretty lethal themselves. Good AT gun positioning of Guard2707, making it hard for Dane to find an angle for these Strugs. Not sure what this squad is doing down here. Charging onto the cutoff or something? I don't know. Very confusing. Bazookas do a little bit of damage to the P4. Got a Jackson coming in from Metlovski now. I think that's the right choice. Looks like he lost his mortar. Here it is back there. Perhaps that's what the Fox Grenadiers were doing, decrewed that. It was a Vet, it was at least Vet 2, might have even been Vet 3. It's good to knock that out. And he actually calls in the mortar half-track to replace it, instead of picking up the decrewed weapon. Remember, the mortar half-track did get nerfed its auto-fire rate of fire. Largely suffering. Haven't really seen it used much this patch. Was reasonably popular in the Ultimate Team Tournament, but never seemed to have that much impact in those matches, honestly. Certainly though in auto match games I've seen it be extremely powerful. And it looks like he's actually got double LMGs on this Oba squad. MG34 and a dropped M1919. That is a nightmare. Obas can fire the M1919 on the move. Like Dane making use of tactical advance there. I'm not sure if he got a kill or not. Oh! Squad of Obas go down on the road to the commandos. Oh man, those commandos are having a ball on this map. This is, I think, one of the better maps for them in the 2v2 pool. Lots of cover positions. Sort of like corners that they can ambush squads around. They have to charge across open ground constantly. Guard2707 making good use of that. There's P4 in here doing some good damage. There's the Jackson, opens up, bounces its first hits. Squad also charging forward to the Major. Only 3 men though, it's quite vulnerable to getting wiped. Oh, he made use of the recon flight there. Perhaps trying to scout out exactly that. Scout out something for his priesthood barrage. Looks like he's going to go after the tech structure. Guard2707 has a lot of munitions himself, so maybe with a bit of howitzer fire to soften up that tech structure, followed by a massive bombing run to take that down. Jackson in a awkward position, taking some Raketten fire here. He's just going to drive it out of there. Loses the Raketten for the troubles though. Whoever's in there trying to hold their ground. And we do have white phosphorus now coming down in this region, forcing away all of Tatenruhm's squads. So Dane trying to go deep for a flank with the squad, not having much success however. Axis are still in pretty good position though. Allies 200 VPs behind. Army size is pretty close. A bit of an edge to the Allies. Panther going in here. Oh, but it's taking a lot of damage. In comes the AT gun, and Cromwell's pushing forwards now, going after this command Panther. Strug's come up in support. Oh, P4 bounces a shot there. And that's going to take an AT grenade. This could be the end of the P4 here. Oh, in come the bazookas. Oh no, P4 goes down. Strugs have to get out of there. It looks like Dane had some pathing issues. The Strugs couldn't bring them up in support to kill either of these tanks in the nick of time there. There's a problem when using 2 tanks together in a control group, which he appears to be doing quite often. Negatively influence each other's pathing, and in comes a recon run followed by a air supremacy bombing run. Did soften this up with a bit of howitzer fire earlier, didn't get repaired. So we've got the machine gun planes, then 2 bombing runs, one in a straight line and then one with quite heavy scatter. Oh, the line one does some heavy damage to the tech structure. The scatter on those bombs are favourable. Doesn't quite result in the destruction of the HQ yet, but here comes the Jackson and come through for the killing blows. And that's going to be tech structure down. Strug going after the Jackson now. Going to make use of the target weak point. I'm taking forever to fire it. There it goes finally. Looks like the Jackson's going to be able to escape. Both Strugs... Oh, they're going in for the dive on the Jackson? This seems very reckless. A stolen Raketten is there. It's going to connect multiple times. Now exposing the rear armor to this incoming Cromwell. Oh, this is a disaster move for Dane. Being way too aggressive. He's popping the breakthrough. Going to make his tanks a little bit faster. But it doesn't matter. They both go down. Just way too aggressive there with no support. He's going to bring in his Panther. Looks like he wants to get the killing blow on this Jackson. One more shot and he will get the kill. 50 fuel, remember, very expensive. Now Cromwell on his rear armor. Panther in trouble. Can he outspeed it? The Cromwell is very speedy. But so is the Panther. Oh, and the Command Panther comes forward for some support, but there are bazookas and a Firefly there, forcing that away. That's blitzing to safety, and one shot from death itself. Close call for both of these Panthers. Oh, but he managed to pick up the Jackson, so that's something. At least he didn't lose both those Stugs for nothing, but that could have been a full disaster. He lost his Panther as well. Gonna call himself in a fresh squad of Stormtroopers. That's a very heavy investment. He's also got a squad of Panzer Grenadiers. So just a lot of extremely expensive to reinforce infantry for Dane. Like he's over-invested in that. I feel like maybe another machine gun would have been more effective. Because at the moment the Allies don't really have that much indirect fire. You know, they've got the priests, but you've got like 2 or 3 AT guns and 2 or 3 machine guns. One priest is just not enough to cover them all. And I say like 2 or 3 AT guns and 2 or 3 machine guns across both teams. Not one player has to get all that. Though they could. And because we're up against these two factions, which don't really have access to rocket artillery except for one commander each, it would be a little bit vulnerable to the team weapon spam. He's trying to go for a close range barrage, but getting forced back by the infantry. And this machine gun getting flanked by this push from Tatenruhm. Pushing forwards now. Firefly and Cromwell on the scene. No AT gun for Dane as well. I don't think you can win this. Firefly misses his first shot though. What's this Command Panther doing? Coming forwards, getting hit by the Raketin in the exact same position. Cromwell pushing forwards. Oh! Huge Commando Grenade clears out the mortar there. Mortars will get decrewed when they have only one man remaining. Oh, we got closer pocket coming in for Dane. He's broken the supply line back here. All these sectors are cut off. Guard2707's got a tremendous amount of units, and in comes the artillery. Oh, he clears out that stuff he's trying to steal. Will the commandos escape? He's running away as quickly as he can. No. Team weapon does not make it out of there. 6-pounder also trying to wheel its way out. Oh, but doesn't quite get there. Looks like they've managed to reconnect the territory now, so the pocket artillery will stop coming down. But that did a huge amount of damage. I think Guard2707 had around 90 supply before that. And now he's got 60, so about 30 supply damage for him. Good execution of closer pocket there from Dane. And you know, it's good to be on a map where closer pocket is achievable. Looks like he's now trying to kill the anti-tank gun that he decrewed. 6-pounder is going to have something to say about that. Also covering it with Cromwell smoke. Nice move by Guard.
An engineer unit is ready for action.
Comes another recon run from Metlovski, probably once again looking for howitzer fire targets. So he's going after the machine gun covering the center. That's actually one thing that Metlovski's been doing very well this game, making use of the major recon. And that's an underutilized ability. Certainly a nice reward for keeping your major alive. And they did decrease the amount of supply the Major occupies in your army, so it's a lot more affordable to keep him around in terms of total army size. Whereas previously it was not really very sustainable. It might even be to a point now where I would consider rebuilding the Major, depending on if I needed it for commander ability, the Major Recon. Allies getting very low on VPs, 133 remaining. They need to do something about that. Looks like Guard2707 rebuilt his army really quickly, back to 90 in the 90s already. They managed to recrew that AT gun. Just sent back for healing and reinforcements. 2 Panthers out here. That's it. Looks like he's actually rebuilt his tech structure. Thought maybe Tatenruhm would have gone for a mechanized truck into the walking Stuka, since the Axis don't have any indirect fire here, but looks like he wants to get himself another tank, so he rebuilt his HQ. Does set him back quite a long way. Also, you know, walking Stuka plus artillery flares, we've seen that combo so many times. Very powerful in 2v2s. Tanks trading blows. Axis capping in the north now. Dane spot an opportunity to get some territory, keep the VP pressure on. But 207 doesn't have the munitions for another air supremacy yet, but they are stockpiling them quickly. Plus 58 on the munitions clock. They've got double connected currently. Yeah, looks like he repaired and recrewed that mortar half-track that was up here.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
And he's gone for Scots now. Double Scot for Metlovski. Does he still have his Jackson? Looks like it. Just recruit it now. It's a lot of indirect fire for him. Gotta be careful they don't get overrun by tanks. But because, you know, Tatenruhm had to spend 135 fuel rebuilding his tech structure, that's essentially one less tank the Axis have currently. Of course, Dane kind of throwing his 2 Strugs there. Axis are at a bit of a loss in that department. They have definitely lost a lot more of their armor than the Allies. The Agpans are coming in for Tatenruhm. Oh no. Hard to find coming in on Dane's machine gun. Dane making a big push down this flank. He's got the Shreks on his Peagrens going around this side, and Shreks on one of these Stormtrooper squads now. There's a lot of Shreks. Comet's trying to tank the blows. Oh, but the suppression comes in and a couple of tank shells doing heavy damage to all these squads. Oh, he gets a wipe on the Stormtroopers. Very costly. Dane sprints forward to recollect the Shrek that they dropped though. But yeah, that was nice execution by Guard, trying to tank the damage with his Comet, which has enough armor to occasionally bounce the Shreks where the Cromwell will get penetrated. Probably every time, I'm not sure. If not 100%, very close to 100% of the time. Can't remember its exact armor number. Scott now going to work on these double machine guns in the middle. Can't use them quite long range though. And here comes the Panther around the side to put pressure on the Scott. It's a juicy hit in there. Very late to react. Not Vet 1, so no smoke. Oh, but he runs over a light AT mine there, looks like. The squad doesn't quite get close enough for an AT grenade. Looks like that's what they were hoping for. The squad's trading out there on the road. Eventually gets forced away in similar situation. The Ober's Vet 4 now. They did drop the LMG 34, that's what we see Guard2707 with. Only got the M1919 currently. All these Panzer Grenadiers not having much success charging into these tanks. And the howitzer fire raining down on the forward HQ for Tatenruhm. Honestly, you know, it's not that far forwards of his base. Quite a lot to invest. But not that much gain. I don't think I would have bothered personally. Oh! His Vet 3 squad goes down to the grenade. And a little bit of follow-up LNG fire. Oh no, I missed a Scot going down to the Panther whilst that was going on, so... Losses for both teams there. But Guard2707 seems to be preserving his units very well now. Close the pocket. And doesn't have enough munitions for another one of those either. The munitions control of the Axis hasn't been that strong. And remember, he did spend a tremendous amount on Shreks. Close to 200 munitions on the Shreks. Which I don't think have been that successful so far. The T-gun would have been the safer choice. I mean, we have seen Shreks be, you know, a lot more effective in my recent casts, but they do seem to be getting cut down by these British tanks quite effectively. Time on target here, I guess that's to force away some machine guns, which it did, but a bit of a waste of munitions. I suppose he's got probably had like close to 500 before that, so not really his concern. Coming up here with the sweepers, nice, nice. And looks like the Allies trying to put pressure on this forward HQ once again for Tatenruhm. Where's his Yak Panzer at? Okay, it's rotating around now. So the Allies maybe gearing up for a bit of a push. They're trying to take down this HQ. He's calling in a fresh air supremacy on it. Don't think he'll get the kill without a little bit more follow-up, but could be wrong. Nice use of smoke there, covering his retreat. Does Dane want to chase him? Oh man. No, HQ's still alive. And that Comet, it looks like it's going to escape on a tiny amount of health. Dane playing it very conservatively. Oh no, he gets the kill with the Shreks. Nicely done. But now the Shreks could go down on retreat. Command Panther duking it out against the Panther. Against the, rather, Jackson in the middle. Still, the Axis look like they're struggling to maintain territory control here, and their army supply is a little bit behind. About 10. They've been pushed right back. Must be major artillery coming in there. Metlovski still has a lot of munitions spare. Another commando glider coming in there. I haven't really been paying attention, but I imagine he's been using the gliders to reinforce his squads by having them in nice positioning.
A capture point is being overrun.
Just to get out of there, indirect fire too much. I'm kind of surprised he didn't push forwards with this, try to get some hits on the mortar half track there, but there you have it. We're going forwards now. His Vet 2 is going to have the armor bonus, but oh, it takes a two-piece combo there from the AT gun and the Firefly.
We're losing a capture point. Done. So we're happy over here. We're down to 100 points now.
Yeah. Things sounding a bit grim for the Allies. They did, manage to turn things around quite a lot in terms of VPs, but dropping under 100, you never feel safe after that. On bad engagement, and you can just lose the game on the spot. Yeah, in come the Allied tanks. They're making a bit of a push here, along with the AT gun in support. Oh, and the Priest actually gets a connection on the Jagdpanzer. Comet chasing in, but in comes Dane's Panther. Going to put a halt to the push. Time on target coming in here. Dane blocking his own retreat with his other Panther. He's trying to blitz to safety now. Firefly shooting at the wrong tank. Time on target nearly wipes his Pioneers. And looks like all the Axis armor is going to escape alive, but took a lot of damage. Going to be out for repairs for quite an extended period, especially with one of Dane's repair squads getting nailed by the artillery there. Oh, that's a wipe. Nice by Dane. Getting in the back lines there, doing some damage with these.
We've lost an anti-tank gun. Enemy threatening a capture point.
Infiltration squads.
The enemy has broken our supply lines.
Panther coming in support, but taking damage. It's Firefly now hitting Vet 3. That's a magic number.
HMG crew has been lost to enemy
It used to be plus 80 damage, now only plus 40, but still 240 damage per hit. It's same as a King Tiger. Get 5 overs coming in. I was surprised he didn't bother to rebuild one of these LMGs, but maybe he didn't even notice that he dropped it. There's one thing that the Axis don't have access to at the moment is smoke. Gonna make it hard to go for those victory point dives. Oh, down goes the mortar half track. The Jagdpanzer picks it off. A recon run coming in from Metlovski. He's also floating a little bit. I know he's sometimes decrewing his vehicles, but needs to spend some of that float. Whoa, 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 whoa. What's this Scott up to? Charging forwards. He does have Vet on that now. So he's going to use the smoke to try and escape. One more attack round through the smoke perhaps. Oh, close call. Nice attempt by Tatenruhm. EP's very briefly in a triple cap there against the Axis, which rapidly turned the scores back around. Now it's back to an extremely close match. See some major artillery being called in here. It's the upgraded major artillery, got more shells thanks to the Vet 2. The Shreks charging forwards with sprints. Looks like they've dropped one of their Shreks though. And the Panther's pushing forwards, but he's about to run into all sorts of AT, taking heavy damage on one of them. Looks like he's going to lose one of his squads on retreat, and these squads coming in, but no munitions for the AT grenade, just spent a time on target. So Panther's actually going to escape pretty much scot-free there. I thought for sure one of them would die with the AT grenades coming in, but no. Metlovski finally spends the last of his munitions on the time on target. Didn't see where that was. Maybe around here as well. Seems to be, a lot of smoke from an explosion in that region. Very close match. Both teams getting low on the VPs. What's that Priest heading to? Remember, Priest can no longer be decrewed, so he's having to repair that bad boy back up. Priest actually gets 2 juicy hits on the Yak Panzer, does a bunch of damage. Like the Jackson's gearing up for some kind of push.
We're getting the hell beat out of us.
A lot of munitions for Guard2707 as well. We're going to see him drop one of these 2 abilities, probably. He's actually floating quite a lot now. Both of the allies are. You're floating like this. I know you don't really want to throw away units, but might be time to just kind of chuck them into the VP circles a little bit. If you have got the resources to rebuild. And when the VP game is this close, like it is currently. Jackson's coming forwards, putting pressure on this command Panther, which is fighting admirably. Cromwell coming in now. Yay, Panzer is there, camouflaged. And after seeing that, he backs away. Dane's Panther's gearing up. He's got a 3rd one now. Looks like they're coming in with some kind of assault. Got Shrek's coming up as well. Putting pressure on the Firefly. Machine Gun's in a nice position to shut that down though. Dane's Panther's charging in. Where's the 3rd one? A little bit far behind. Panther's coming in, going after these medium tanks for Guard2707. He's got tanks there in support. One Panther goes down really quickly. And the Tulip rockets close range stun one of the Panthers. The 3rd Panther finally getting stuck in now. But rear armor hits on these Panthers. They're not bouncing anything in this state. Take down 1 Comet. But he could be about to lose 2 Panthers for the trouble. There he does. Both the vetted Panthers go down. Firefly also still alive. Oh, and the 3rd Panther goes down. Gets unlucky, missing those shots. Command Panther in there. Gonna take out one of the Jacksons, but Dane loses all his Panthers. Got very little in return there. And that could be the game. Without those Panthers, how are they going to deal with this Cromwell, which is just out here forcing away all his squads? Dane's army down to 34 now. Did he just get a wipe there as well? Looks like an Axis squad just died there. That could be the match right there. Dane's assault with his Panthers didn't come to much. They were just constantly getting rear armor hits, you know. I think if that wasn't the case, it could have gone a lot better. Firefly also getting a little bit lucky there, surviving that engagement. Had a few crucial misses to Dane, but really it was the rear armor exposed from the Panthers that did him in. That Cromwell was just on the rear armor, the Panthers is teeing off. Can't really contest, there's too much firepower. Then about 30 fuel away from another Panther. Probably too long to wait here. He's going to actually go ahead and build himself a Stug. Can't afford to wait that long. Chucking units into the VPs, but the allies are capping in the north as well. Ken's in a nice position. Get a few free hits in, and the Vet 3 Jackson coming through as well, getting a lot of damage onto those 2 Axis tanks, forcing them away. Cromwell continuing to push forwards. Got a walking Stuka now for Tatenruhm, but so late in the game. Talked about this over half an hour ago. It's just too late to matter at this point. Would have been better off going for another tank. Too late to make the difference.
Batteries reporting. Reconnaissance by flare now available.
Especially when, you know, there aren't that many support weapons for the Allies. Got some artillery coming in. Time on target. Is he going to knock out these machine guns with it?
Consolidate our forces. We are down to
Got
50
the
points.
air supremacy coming in as well. That's going to be the end of the match. Tatenruhm calls it quits there. So is Dane. Very close match between these two teams. I like the use of Metlovski's recon with the finding targets for his priest, which was quite nice, and also opening up air supremacies for Guard2707. So a bit of nice teamwork between these two random players. Dane was, you know, making some good. He had a really good use of close the pocket, which was really nice. Making pretty good use of the features of his commander. But he kind of just threw his armor twice this match, through those two shrugs. And then this engagement with the Panther also went horribly wrong for him. Those two factors probably the deciding in the game, but hard to say. Very good match either way. Well, I'll wrap on that, guys. If you'd like your game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.